Title: I took a detour through the Nevada desert to save 40 minutes. I've been driving for 3 days, and the sun hasn't come up yet. I'm typing this on my phone with 4% battery left. I don't know if this will actually post. The signal bars keep flickering between 5G and symbols I don't recognize, weird angular runes that make my eyes water if I stare at them too long. But if this does make it to the internet, if anyone is reading this, do not take the exit for State Route 84 off the I-15. It doesn't matter what your GPS says. It doesn't matter if there's a pileup that's going to cost you 3 hours. Just sit in the traffic. Please, God, just sit in the traffic. My name's Elias. I'm a mesmerizingly average guy. I drive a 2018 Honda Civic, I listen to audiobooks about Roman history, and I was just trying to get home to Salt Lake City for my sister's wedding rehearsal. It started, or I think it started, around 11:30 p.m. on Tuesday, or maybe Monday. My internal clock is so scrambled I feel like I'm moving through jelly. I was cruising through that long, empty stretch of Nevada darkness where the only light comes from the moon and the occasional semi-truck lit up like a Christmas tree. I was tired, that heavy, grit-in-your-eyes kind of tired where the white lines on the road start to detach and float around in your vision. I was blasting the AC to stay awake when my GPS chirped. Traffic ahead, 2-hour delay, rerouting. I glanced at the screen. A thick red line had appeared on the main highway. Someone probably jackknifed a rig. The new route highlighted a thin gray line branching off to the right. Exit 212, SR 84. It promised to save me 40 minutes and bypass the stoppage entirely. I didn't hesitate. I just wanted to be out of the car. I wanted a shower and a bed. I signaled right and took the ramp. The transition wasn't dramatic. There was no sudden drop in temperature, no ominous fog. The asphalt just changed from the smooth federal highway blacktop to a coarser, grayer concrete. The rhythmic thump-thump of the tires over the expansion joints became the only sound in the world. For the first hour, it was fine. The road was straight as an arrow, cutting through the scrub brush and rocky hills. But around the 60-minute mark, I noticed the silence. I don't mean the radio. I had turned that off a while ago to focus. I mean the world outside. When you drive through the desert at night, there's usually something. Distant town lights reflecting off the clouds, the red blink of a radio tower on a distant peak, the headlights of another car miles away. There was nothing here. Just the cone of my headlights cutting through a darkness so thick it felt physical, like I was driving into a wall of black velvet. I looked at the GPS. Recalculating, it spun. Then the screen flickered and went black. Great, I muttered. My voice sounded flat, deadened by the upholstery. I reached for my phone to pull up Google Maps. No service. I felt a prickle of unease, that primal lizard brain warning that says you are exposed. But I'm a rational guy. It's Nevada. Dead zones are common. The road has to come out somewhere. I checked my gas gauge. Half a tank. I was fine. I kept driving. Another hour passed. Then 2. By my mental math, I should have reconnected with the interstate by now. I should have seen something. A gas station, a house, a cow, anything. That's when I saw the sign. It wasn't a standard reflective green highway sign. It was a massive hand-painted wooden board, the size of a billboard, staked into the hard earth on the side of the road. My headlights swept over it, illuminating crude, dripping white letters. Quiet zone. They can hear the engine. I slowed down, confused. Who paints a sign like that? A prank? Some desert cult compound nearby? As I lifted my foot off the accelerator, the engine revs dropped. The car quieted. And then I heard it. From the darkness outside my window, over the hum of the tires, came a sound. It sounded like wet slapping, like raw meat hitting pavement. Slap, slap, slap. Fast, unbelievably fast. It was keeping pace with the car. I was going 65 miles an hour.
Panic, cold and sharp, spiked in my chest. I slammed my foot back onto the gas. The engine roared. The car lurched, pushing 80, then 90. The slopping sound faded behind me, drowned out by the wind in the engine. My heart was hammering against my ribs like a trapped bird. What was that? A coyote? A deer? No animal runs at 65 miles on 2 feet, and it sounded heavy, large. I drove for another 30 minutes, white-knuckling the steering wheel, waiting for the lights of a town. Then I saw tail lights ahead. Relief washed over me so hard I almost cried. 2 red orbs about a quarter-mile up. Another traveler. I wasn't alone. I sped up to close the distance. I didn't want to pass them. I just wanted to form a convoy. There's safety in numbers. As I got closer, the details of the car emerged. It was an old station wagon, maybe from the 80s, wood paneling on the sides. It was moving perfectly steady in the center of the lane. I pulled up about 50 feet behind it. That's when I noticed the first thing that was wrong. The exhaust pipe wasn't emitting any smoke. It was cold out. There should have been vapor. The second thing was the license plate. It wasn't a standard plate. It was just a solid rectangle of Vanta black. No numbers, no state, just a void. I flashed my high beams, hoping to get a reaction, maybe a wave. The moment my brights hit the back of the station wagon, the rear window illuminated. There were 3 people in the back seat, 2 adults on the ends, 1 child in the middle. They were all turned around, facing backwards, facing me. They didn't move. They were stiff, rigid, and they were smiling. Not a friendly smile. It was too wide, way too wide. It looked like someone had taken a razor blade and sliced their cheeks open to the ears, then pinned the flops of skin back. Their eyes were wide open, unblinking, staring directly into my headlights. They didn't react to the light. They didn't squint. They just stared. Those impossible rictus grins locked onto me. I screamed. I couldn't help it. I slammed on the brakes. My tires locked up, screeching against the asphalt. The station wagon didn't brake. It didn't accelerate. It just continued at the exact same speed, gliding into the darkness, those 3 heads bobbing slightly in unison with the bumps of the road. I sat there on the shoulder, hyperventilating. The smell of burnt rubber filled the cabin. Turn around, I told myself. Just turn around and go back. I threw the car into a U-turn, spinning the wheel. I hit the gas, desperate to backtrack to the interstate. I drove back the way I came. I drove for an hour. I should have passed the quiet zone sign. I didn't. I drove for another hour. I should have reached the exit ramp. I didn't. Instead, 3 hours after I turned around, my headlights caught a billboard ahead, hand-painted, white dripping letters. No turning back. Penalty. Acceleration. I stared at the sign. I was heading back toward the interstate. This sign shouldn't be here, or unless the road had changed, or unless I was driving in a circle that was too big to perceive. I looked at the dashboard clock. 3 a.m. That was how long ago? My gas light dinged. The sound was deafening in the silence. The little orange fuel pump icon lit up. No, I whispered. No, please. I had about 40 miles of range left. If I ran out of gas out here, with the slapping things in the dark. I drove slower now to conserve fuel, 55 miles an hour. The silence of the desert seemed to press against the windows, testing the glass.
10 minutes later, a miracle. A light on the horizon, not the red tail lights of the Smile family car. These were stationary, harsh, fluorescent blue-white lights. A service station. I almost sobbed. I floored it, ignoring the fuel economy. As I got closer, the structure resolved into a concrete block building with a single gas island out front. There was no branding, no Shell, no Chevron, just a sign that said gas/food. The lights were buzzing audibly, flickering with a sick stroboscopic rhythm. I pulled up to the pump. The place looked abandoned, but the pumps had power. I got out of the car. The air was freezing, much colder than it should be for Nevada. It smelled like ozone and copper, like old blood. I swiped my card. The screen on the pump didn't ask for a zip code. It just displayed the text, "Feed me." "Okay," I muttered, my hands shaking. "Okay, I'm feeding you." I put the nozzle in. The gas flowed. While it filled, I looked at the building. The windows were dark, tinted so heavily I couldn't see inside, but on the glass door there was a piece of paper taped up. I walked over to it, my footsteps echoing loudly on the concrete. It was a handwritten list. The handwriting was erratic, changing styles halfway through, as if different people had written different lines. Rules for the route. Do not acknowledge the passengers in the other cars. If they see you looking, they will try to get in. If the moon turns red, pull over, kill the engine, and close your eyes. Do not open them until you hear the birds. Note, there are no birds in this desert. If you hear a dog barking, keep your eyes closed. The gas is free, but the toll is high. Don't eat the food inside. It's made of ash. If you see a man hitchhiking wearing a yellow raincoat, run him over. Do not stop. He is not a man. He is a hole in the world. Keep driving west. Do not turn around. East is gone. I ripped the paper off the door and shoved it in my pocket. My heart was pounding so hard I felt dizzy. East is gone. I ran back to the pump. The nozzle clicked off. I didn't bother with the receipt. I jumped back in the car and locked the doors. As I started the engine, the lights in the gas station building flickered on. I froze. Inside, standing behind the counter, was a figure. It was wearing a gas station uniform, but it was tall, too tall. Its head was pressed against the ceiling, its neck bent at a 90-degree angle to fit in the room. Its arms were long, dangling down past its knees, fingers chapping on the floor. It turned its head toward me. It didn't have a face, just a smooth, fleshy surface where features should be. Then it raised a hand and pointed down the road, west. I peeled out of there. I didn't look back. I've been driving for what feels like days since then. The clock on the dash is stuck at 3:33 a.m. The sun refuses to rise. The skies a bruised purple color. The stars are wrong. They're arranged in geometric patterns, triangles and squares, not constellations. I've seen the hitchhiker in the yellow raincoat 4 times. The first time, he was standing on the shoulder, thumb out. I remembered the list. Run him over. I couldn't do it. I'm not a killer. I swerved around him. As I passed, I looked in the mirror. He wasn't wearing a raincoat. His skin was yellow, and where his face should be, there was just depth, a swirling vortex of black. The second time I saw him, 5 miles later, he was in the middle of the road. I swerved again. He turned his head and screeched, a sound like metal grinding on metal that came through my closed windows. The third time, he was running alongside the car. I was doing 90. He was loping along on all fours, like a spider, his yellow back arcing, that black hole of a face turned toward me. I swerved into him that time. I heard a thump, a wet crunch. The car shuddered. I didn't stop. I just kept driving.
But now things are changing. The road is getting narrower. The desert on either side is gone. It's just a drop-off now. I'm driving on a strip of concrete suspended in a gray void. And the radio turned on by itself about 20 minutes ago. It's playing my voice. But it's not saying things I've already said. It's saying things I'm about to say. It's narrating my death. He sees the end of the road, the radio voice says. My voice, trembling and terrified. He sees the barrier. He realizes the loop is closing. I turned the volume knob, but it wouldn't go down. I punched the dashboard, but the voice kept talking. He checks his phone. He tries to post to Reddit. He thinks someone can help him. He doesn't realize the signal is coming from inside the car. I'm shaking. I can see something up ahead. It's a tunnel. A massive, gaping mouth of a tunnel carved into a mountain that shouldn't be there. The mountain looks like it's made of teeth, jagged gray rocks that interlock like molars. The radio voice is whispering now. He goes into the dark. He becomes one of the passengers. He smiles. I don't want to smile. I'm slowing down. I have to. The road ends at the tunnel mouth. There's nowhere else to go. Wait. I see something in the rearview mirror. It's the station wagon, the one with the family. It's right behind me, bumper to bumper. I can see the driver now. It's me. The driver is me. I'm looking at myself in the rearview mirror, but the other me is rotting. The skin is gray, sloughing off the bone, and he's smiling that same ear-to-ear, skin-stretched smile. The other me just lifted his hand and waved. The radio just said, "He lets them in." My door locks just clicked open. I'm going to drive into the tunnel. It's the only choice. If I stop, the other me will get out of the station wagon. I can't handle that. I can't look at that face up close. If you are reading this, stay on the interstate. If you see a detour for Route 84, ignore it. If your GPS glitches, throw it out the window. I'm going into the mouth of the mountain now. The teeth are opening. It's so dark inside. And I think I can hear the birds. End log. I made it through the tunnel. I'm back on I-15. The sun just snapped into the sky like someone flipped a light switch. It's 10 a.m. on Friday. I've been gone for 3 days. I'm at a rest stop near St. George. There are people here, normal people. A lady is walking a poodle. A trucker is cleaning his windshield. I should be relieved. I should be calling my sister. But I went into the bathroom to wash my face. I looked in the mirror. My reflection delayed by a second. I blinked, and my reflection blinked a moment later. And when I opened my mouth to check my teeth, my reflection didn't open its mouth. It kept its lips pressed together tight. Then, very slowly, the corners of my reflection's mouth started to twitch upward. It's starting to smile. I don't think I left Route 84. I think I just brought it with me. I'm going to get back in the car now. I have to keep driving. The radio is off, but I can still hear the static. And the lady with the poodle? She's been standing in the exact same spot for 10 minutes. She hasn't moved. The poodle hasn't barked. And looking closer, I don't think the dog has any eyes. I have to go. They're watching. End log.